Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the New England Patriots defense, taking a detailed look at where this unit currently stands across the NFL landscape, and how high they could realistically climb by the end of the upcoming season. There's a lot to break down here, from roster evaluations to potential free agent additions, especially at that all-important edge rusher spot. We'll also get into this year's Sack Summit, which has become a growing event for defensive linemen around the league, and of course, we'll touch on some encouraging updates from the Patriots secondary. So buckle up, because there's a lot to unpack. Let's kick things off with the overall defensive rankings. Honestly, it's hard not to feel a bit frustrated when you see where the Patriots currently sit according to some analysts. Bleacher Report recently released their post-draft rankings and had the Patriots defense way down at number 25 overall. That's pretty low considering the sheer amount of talent on this roster. Sure, statistically last season wasn't great. They hovered in the low 20s in most major defensive categories, but context matters here. The team dealt with a ridiculous number of injuries, both on defense and offense, and let's be real, the offense did them zero favors. It's tough for any defense to perform at a high level when the offense is constantly going 3 and out and leaving you stranded on the field for most of the game. When you take a step back and actually look at the additions the Patriots have made this offseason through both the draft and free agency, you start to realize that this is a unit with serious potential to bounce back in a big way. Add to that a fresh coaching staff, with Mike Vrabel now part of the mix, and there's a genuine reason for optimism. Not to mention, there's hope that Terrell Williams could return to further bolster the defensive coaching group. Now, let's talk about where I personally think this defense stacks up. If you look at the top 5 defenses across the league right now, you've got your usual suspects. Philadelphia is right up there. Denver continues to perform at an elite level. Baltimore is always a defensive powerhouse. Detroit is making noise with their young talent. And Kansas City has been rock solid. Moving into that next tier, teams like Buffalo, Houston, Minnesota, Green Bay, and Seattle are also looking pretty strong. For me, the top 15 rounds out with Pittsburgh, the Rams, the Chargers, the Bears, and the 49ers, who are always a threat despite going through some tough stretches recently. Sliding further down, you get to teams like Dallas, Tampa Bay, the Jets, who are hoping that Aaron Glenn can help turn things around for them, and Washington. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Right after that group, I would place the Patriots. For me, they're sitting right at number 20 at worst. When you look at the teams Bleacher Report ranked ahead of them, like the Giants, Cardinals, Browns, Dolphins, and Bengals, you start to realize that each of those teams comes with just as many, if not more, question marks than the Patriots. Let's break that down for a second. The Giants and Cardinals both struggled mightily on defense last year. The Browns had some moments, sure, but consistency was a big issue. Miami's defense is undergoing big changes, especially with new coaching in the mix, and Cincinnati's defense lost key pieces in free agency. So, when you line it all up, it's not unreasonable at all to say the Patriots deserve a spot inside the top 20. At the very least, looking just above that tier, you've got teams like Pittsburgh dealing with uncertainty around TJ Watt's health, the Rams relying heavily on younger, unproven players in their secondary, the Chargers dealing with their own consistency issues, the Bears still figuring things out with their young core, and the 49ers going through cost-cutting measures that could impact their defensive depth. In short, there's plenty of room for movement in these rankings as the season unfolds, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see the Patriots take advantage of that. One thing that's true year after year in the NFL is that defensive performance can fluctuate dramatically. Look no further than the Denver Broncos as a prime example. Nobody had them pegged as a top 2 or 3 defense heading into last season, and yet there they were, ranked at the top by multiple outlets by year's end. Even Bleacher Report had them sitting at number 1 overall, showing just how volatile these rankings can be. A huge factor in all of this, of course, is health for the Patriots. Staying healthy is going to be absolutely critical. Christian Gonzalez, for example, is going to be under a massive microscope this year. He showed flashes of brilliance when he was on the field, but availability is everything in this league. Now, with Carlton Davis lining up on the opposite side of the field, there's real potential for the Patriots' secondary to become a nightmare for opposing offenses. And while we're talking about potential, let's be honest, it wouldn't be shocking at all to see this defense make a serious push back toward the top 10 in the league. Realistically, I think cracking the top 15 is a very achievable goal. Getting into that top 10 range would require a lot of things to go right, mainly staying healthy and seeing meaningful development from key young players, but it's not out of the question. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the pass rush. If there's one glaring weakness right now, it's the lack of consistent pressure off the edge. The Patriots have solid pieces on the interior with guys like Milton Williams helping to anchor the middle, but the edge presence just isn't where it needs to be yet. Harold Landry had a noticeable drop in production last season, especially when it came to pass rushing. Keion White is another player the team is hoping can bounce back after a less than stellar year. There's definitely a theme here when talking about this defense. Bounce-back seasons are going to be key. Another player worth mentioning is ELE Transforma, who showed some flashes but still needs to take that next step if he wants to become a real contributor. Anthony Jennings is another name to keep an eye on, though he seems to be sliding down the depth chart as younger players emerge. All of this brings us to an important point. The edge rusher position could be an area where the Patriots look to make a move before the season starts. There are still some very intriguing names sitting in free agency. The most obvious one is Matthew Judon. He's still out there, still unsigned, and obviously brings a level of familiarity with the Patriots system that could make him an ideal fit if the front office decides to bring him back, of course. At 32 years old, Judon is in that category of veteran players who are waiting for the right opportunity. These guys typically want a situation where they can compete for a playoff spot and potentially chase a championship, while also making sure they get fair value on what could be one of the last big contracts of their career. Beyond Judon, there are a few other names worth keeping in mind. Preston Smith and Darius Smith, both 32, have been around the league and bring tons of experience. Then there's Jadeveon Clowney, another 32-year-old vet who's shown he can still be disruptive when healthy. These are players who probably aren't looking to sign anywhere until training camp or even the preseason rolls around, just to see how rosters shake out and where the best opportunity lies. The big question is whether the Patriots are ready to make that kind of move right now. Honestly, it feels like they're not at this stage. The team seems committed to evaluating what they have on the 90-man roster before making any outside additions. And let's not forget, the NFL season is a war of attrition. Injuries are going to happen, players will get hurt, and roster needs will change. Trades, free agent signings, all of that is still on the table as the offseason progresses. It wouldn't shock me at all if, sometime between now and mid-season, the Patriots decide to bring in one of these veteran edge rushers. Whether it's Judon, Clowney, or someone else, the need for more pass rush firepower is evident. Right now, none of these players are officially linked to the Patriots, but that could change quickly if the team feels the urgency to make a move. And speaking of pass rushers, let's pivot to the Sack Summit, which is quickly becoming one of the more talked about off-season events for defensive linemen across the league. For those unfamiliar, the Sack Summit is a bit like Tight End University, but for pass rushers. It's a chance for players to come together, share techniques, learn from each other, and build community at a position that doesn't always get the spotlight it deserves. This year, the Patriots will have 3 representatives attending the Sack Summit: Milton Williams, Keion White, and ELE Transforma. The event runs from June 25th to the 27th, and will bring together some of the NFL's top pass rushers. The summit is being co-hosted by Max Crosby, Von Miller, and Cam Jordan, 3 players who've enjoyed long, successful careers and know exactly what it takes to get to the quarterback at the highest level. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have been growing louder in the NFL world, and one name keeps popping up in connection with the New England Patriots: Joe Burrow. The Bengals' star quarterback has reportedly caught the attention of the Patriots front office, sparking intense speculation about what his arrival could mean for New England's offense. While nothing is confirmed, the mere possibility of Burrow wearing the Patriots' colors is enough to ignite feverish discussions among fans and analysts alike. If the rumors prove true, Burrow's presence could represent a seismic shift for a Patriots offense that has been in transition in recent seasons, known for his pinpoint accuracy, quick decision-making, and ability to perform under pressure. Burrow is a quarterback who thrives in a system that balances strong play calling with aggressive downfield passing. New England, historically molded by the Tom Brady era, might see a transformation in its offensive identity, one that moves away from traditional ground-and-pound schemes to a more dynamic, aerial attack. Burrow's playing style is characterized by his calm demeanor and sharp football IQ. His chemistry with his receivers and adeptness at reading defenses on the fly have propelled him to the upper echelon of NFL quarterbacks. The Patriots, who have struggled to find consistent quarterback play post-Brady, could benefit immensely from his leadership and poise. A Burrow-led offense could elevate the entire unit, from the offensive line's protection schemes to the skill players' routes and timing. Moreover, the potential arrival of Joe Burrow might prompt offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels to rethink his strategy. McDaniels, known for his creative play designs, could unlock new weapons by tailoring the playbook to maximize Burrow's strengths. Expect to see more spread concepts, quick slants, and vertical routes designed to exploit mismatches and force defenses to adapt quickly. This could also mean a faster tempo offense, putting pressure on opponents and creating more scoring opportunities. Of course, this all hinges on the Patriots' ability to acquire Burrow, which would likely require a blockbuster trade or a bold free agency move. The financial and roster implications would be significant, but the potential upside is undeniable. Patriots fans, starved for a franchise quarterback since Brady's departure, might finally see a promising candidate to lead the team back to Super Bowl contention. In conclusion, the Joe Burrow 2 Patriots chatter is far from a done deal, but it's an electrifying possibility that could redefine New England's offense. Should it happen, the Patriots could usher in a new era of explosive, high-powered football, re-establishing themselves as a dominant force in the league. For now, all eyes remain on the Patriots front office and Joe Burrow's future, and the NFL world waits with bated breath. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.